You know, in Canada, we are the victims of a spectacular, vicious lie when it comes to new construction homes, when it comes to people buying new homes that are newly built. This incredible lie is one of the worst things that we've done to young people or to people who want to own a home that I can think of. Here's the lie that municipalities and cities have told people that they have increased development costs, fees, taxes, levies on new construction because the developers will pay everything. That rich, greedy developers will pay everything, which is the most ridiculous lie that you could ever imagine. Let me give you an example. Imagine that the government of Canada said, we're going to introduce a wholesale tax on groceries at the grocery store, but we're not going to charge anybody who buys the groceries. We're not going to charge the consumer more. This tax is only going to be on wholesale to the grocery store, and evil Weston will have to pick up all the tax. That's fucking crazy, right? Like, it's absolutely crazy. You can't force Weston to absorb all that tax. And everybody would figure it out in 10 days because they'd go to the grocery store and see that the tax had just been passed on. The wholesale tax had just been passed on to everybody who's buying the groceries, straight through. And the groceries just went up. Yeah, there'd be a goddamn revolution, okay? It would be the end of the government. But yet, that's what we do with new construction. Because new construction isn't a lot of people. Every year it's a bunch of new people, but it's not a ton. And if it's not everybody, and you can't notice it. How do you notice it? It's just the price of the house. There it is. I can either afford it or I can't. Nobody stops to explain to the new home buyer, yeah, the city and municipality have fucked you relentlessly on this price. They have increased what they used to charge for new construction, what they would charge the developer. They've increased it by, in some cases, 700 or 800%. 700 or 800% in the last 10 years. Think I'm crazy? I'm not crazy. I'm right. No, it's not every municipality. It's not every city. But we constantly hear about it. If you pay attention, and nobody pays attention to civic politics or civic announcements or municipal or city announcements. It's just a tiny line item, hard to get any publicity. Nobody follows it. But you see 20% increases in a year, 40% increases, 50% increases. Well, guess what? If you do that every couple of years, pretty soon you're at 700% because it was so low 10 years ago, and now it's through the roof. But the city pretends, the municipality pretends, the town pretends that it's the developers paying, which is totally wrong. So what's the end result? The end result is we're fucked. That the prices of these new construction homes are so high, they're actually propping up resale homes. As you look at a resale home and say, you know what? That house is 1.5 million. This brand new house in the middle of nowhere, like halfway to Barrie, is 1.4 million. I should probably just take that 1.5 million because it's a lot closer to Toronto, and everything's there. The schools are there, the shopping is there, everything's there. I don't have to wait. It seems, if the new house is that expensive, the old house isn't that bad. So this craziness is that the house in Barrie had like $480,000 worth of taxes and fees and all permit costs and incredible wait times and everything that screwed the home buyer because the developer, the guy who's building it, had to pass it on. Sure, they make a profit. They're not angels. Developers, builders, not angels. Okay? They make a shit ton of money. Until now. Things may change very soon. They may be changing as we speak. But this horrible concept that the developer pays, and every time, by the way, You think if the city council increased the property tax 40%, that would be the end of them? Like, seriously, like people would storm the building and they wouldn't be able to put on the council anymore. Like, people would just go absolutely crazy. They wouldn't even dare. Nobody in city council would dare to do it. But they increase these fees and taxes and levies for these new homes because they know, well, nobody's going to tell. Nobody will know what we've done. Nobody will know how much we've screwed new home buyers. It's just in the price. And we'll pretend that the developer's supposed to pay. So we'll keep telling this huge fucking lie and get away with it. Because guess what? They have gotten away with it. That's how come these condos are a small fortune. Like, how the hell did a condo get to cost a $950, $1,000 a square foot, and the new ones are like $1,300, $1,400? When you tell that square footage cost to people in the United States, they just think I'm lying. Because how could it ever get that expensive? Well, this is how it got that expensive. By cities and towns all across Canada, but particularly in British Columbia and Ontario, just ramping up the cost to build a new home through the roof to the point where it starts to make existing high batshit crazy house prices not look so bad. That's how. In the end, the real question you have to ask is, well, isn't that what it costs to build it? Like, isn't that just fair because it costs a lot for the city to have to put, services in? No, that's a lie. That's a complete lie. The city takes 80% of all those increases, all those huge fees, all those huge levies, and puts it right back into general revenue because cities spend like maniacs. They spend like crazy people. They're so inefficient. They're so incompetent. They're such big spenders. They just need more revenue all the time. So this is the problem. And until everybody wakes up and says, this must stop, it's just going to get worse.